is Always Be Mickey? I mean, he's still young in his stallion career.
Yeah.
Is he maybe your favorite stallion that you like? What do you think about that? I mean, it's still young in his career, but like he's starting to pop out some really some really good. He was the only one that won multiple yesterday. A bunch
Yeah.
of other
You know what, on it? I mean, honestly, I really don't know anything about the stallion things. As far as predicting a horse going to be a stallion or not, I don't know.
Well,
But I
I
mean,
just mean like you're now driving
yes,
their babies, and you're like, oh man, that's a little bit of Mickey. Like I
yeah,
drove, you can say that, like that. A little bit of
yeah,
Mickey there,
yeah.
little bit. And you were telling me about something with She Be Sting and Mickey. So who does Perfect Sting resemble, and in their career?
Oh, he's definitely always be Mickey.
Okay.
Yeah, he has that whole like never give up, that grinding type speed, and like I see that in like a lot of his better horses, like they have that grinding type speed, like they just don't get tired, and like he was that way, and like yeah, I think he's gonna be a top stallion. I mean, I know not everybody's a fan of his, but I mean, like he keeps kicking out good horses. I mean, he had two Breeders' Crown 2-year-old winners that win this year. I mean, can't argue with that. Can't argue with numbers.
Yeah. And tell me the one time that She Be Stingin' and Always Be Mickey teamed up before they actually made Perfect Sting.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We had actually trained him. Sting was coming back at 4, and Mickey was 3, and
She Be Stingin', because we got Perfect Sting and She Be Stingin'. So
yeah,
when you're
she'd
saying
be stinging the
She Be
mare,
Stingin', right?
the
So she,
mare, and at the time, Sting really hadn't done much, or
Mickey,
always Mickey hadn't
right?
done much at 2, and we trained them together, and like it took all she could to get around him training. And I told Joe, I'll never forget it. I was like, she just ain't that good, but she was training with Always Be
She sure,
Mickey.
yeah. It's just tough to get around a horse like that. Going back to Always Be Mickey, that year he was injured in the breed. He won the limb
Yeah,
at 3, right?
yeah,
And he gets injured and he has to scratch out of the final.
yeah,
And then he takes a whole year off
yes,
to recover.
yes.
And he comes back on the back end of his 5-year-old year.
4-year-old year.
Right. Oh, it's 4-year-old. Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
So he makes his uh, well-deserved redemption in the Breeders' Crown at Woodbine.
yes.
So that whole time you're like, man, from the time he won the limb at 3 to the time finally wins the final, do you think about a horse like that, or is it just literally, hey, when he's at the racetrack, that's when I can focus on him? Like he's recovering and that's it. Like what was that whole, I don't know, year? Are you thinking about him being like, man, what could have been?
Yeah, no, I kept in contact with him the whole time. When he was training back at 4, he rehabbed, and they switched him to Jimmy Tactor. And no, I was in contact with Jimmy the whole time, and uh, I remember Jimmy actually trained him down and qualified him and actually raced him his first start. Jimmy drove him
Mm-hmm.
himself, and uh, I had raced him. He didn't have an elimination for the Breeders' Crown, so he went right to the final. And I remember that was the first time I got back up on him at 4, and we were leaving the paddock going to the track, and I was thinking, I was actually telling him, I was like, this time last year, buddy, I was like, you hit the track, you were lame. So he stepped on the track, he was pretty good, and he went out and he just crushed him.
Just
I mean,
destroyed everybody.
yeah,
It's definitely. I mean, that had to have been like, plus the night you had. You
yeah,
guys just ultra confident. I believe that was the last race of the card.
yep,
That was just like, and Jimmy too. He was just destroying everybody. Like that must have been like this. We cannot literally do anything wrong between you and Jimmy, and it's just like we're just gonna destroy everybody with this horse.
It's the Breeders' Crown Open Pace, lined up set for a start. Here they come. They're often pacing. Foiled again gets first call down the gate. Outside of him is State Treasure blasting out of there. Melmurby Beach at the inside up alertly from in third. And Arthur Blue Chip rolling outside for Waples from in fourth. Between horses, Always Be Mickey gets a good spot early fifth. Sixth inside of him is Mocket So. Parked out seventh, J.K. End of an Era. Then eighth into the flow comes Sears with Better's Edge. Ninth away at the rail is All Bets Off. And the early trailer from in 10th is McWicked. The opening quarter in 26 and 3. And landing on the front end was State Treasure. Foiled again is Pocket Shadow. Back to third, Melmurby Beach. It's Arthur Blue Chip at the rail from in fourth. Miller floats overland fifth now. First over with Always Be Mickey. Going to pick up his cover Mocket So it appears from in sixth. Seven to the outside. J.K. End of an Era. McWicked shoots through up the rail from an eighth position. And the back two in the field as they continue up towards the midway point are Better's Edge and All Bets Off is last. A good looking flow on the outside as Always Be Mickey rushes to the front for Miller. Takes over the lead after a 26 and 3 opener was served up by State Treasure. Always Be Mickey's got the track in 55 and 2. Always Be Mickey leads to the final turn. State Treasure's in the pocket spot second. Foiled again is brought first up now by Gingras from in third. So on cover fourth now, Mocket So. Fifth inside to Melmurby Beach. J.K. End of an Era third over, sixth outside. He's a good 5 off the lead as they've got 3/8 to go. Then it's back at the inside to find Arthur Blue Chip. Driving up on the outside from the backfield comes Better's Edge. All Bets Off unwinding 3 wide from back in ninth and trailing 10th at the rail. McWicked 3/4 in 123. Into the stretch they come, and it's Always Be Mickey on top here. His lead now 2 lengths. Second to the outside is State Treasure. Foiled again in third. Far outside, revving up comes Mocket So, and from way back is All Bets Off, but they're all racing for chump change here as Always Be Mickey will take it home, and it's a wicked night at the office for Messrs. Miller and Tactor. What a night it was. Always Be Mickey, the icing on the cake as he wins in 149 and 3.
That was like a precursor to what happened the following year, which may have, would you say that that was between Always Be Mickey and Wiggle It Jiggleit? That whole entire year was maybe one of the best rivalries in the history of the sport.
Oh, definitely. Wiggle It Jiggleit was so tough. I dealt with that horse for 3 years, and I mean, like he was definitely a pain in my side. But I mean, like kudos to that horse. That was such a tough horse. That Wiggle It Jiggleit. I mean, like
yeah, because you had him. You had betting. Who was the 3-year-old?
I had a horse called Lost for Words that battled with him at 3.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
And then I had to deal with him with Always Mickey for 2 years, and I mean, like that horse would not
just like,
go.
Go
he
away.
would not go.
Enough.
He would not go away. He was so tough. That horse was, and I mean, yeah, that was a great rival.
The cool thing is, you guys, you and Montreal, literally were switching like your tactics. Every race was a different race. I think you guys raced against each other 8 times, and it was okay. You're gonna leave, and I'm gonna pull first over. No, you're gonna leave. I'm gonna sit a 2-hole. No, we're both gonna sit back.
Yeah.
We're both gonna come first over. I'm gonna pull through. Like, it was amazing how it didn't matter what you guys did.
It was
like,
they were right there together at the wire.
And yeah, right.
Well, Wiggle It Jiggleit could lead way faster than Always Be Mickey could, and Montreal would always get him to the lead, and then I had to run him down. I mean, like there was only a few times that I got around him early, you know, and he still got to beat the horse. You know, I mean, like he was that Wiggle It Jiggleit. He was such a good horse.
Yeah.
I mean, he was so tough. But I mean, yeah, he was just a way bit quicker than my horse was. But like they both had such high speed, and they could carry it for so long. I mean, like it really was amazing, and it made a great rival. That's for sure.
Coming into that Breeders' Crown, I mean, it's the main event. It's the race everybody's talking about. It's, you know, we got the spot on TV and things like that. And it's when, other than the race, whatever the race was, I think it was the McKee, well, it wasn't the McKee Memorial. It may have been, actually. That was the only race that both of you guys didn't do well.
Yeah.
You went on Hamiltonian Day, you went to the front and faded, and Always Be Mickey should have been 10th, and he still finished 4th.
Yeah.
That's how good he is.
Yeah.
But, like, it was just rivalry all year long, and you're coming to the Breeders' Crown. You got to face against Wiggle It Jiggleit.
Yes.
It's for Horse of the Year.
Yes.
At that point, whoever's going to win that race is for Horse of the Year.
Yeah.
Did you feel pressure at all? Like, I got to get this done? Or, like, that's probably as high pressure of a spot as you could have been in, right? Like, in your career?
Yeah. There was a lot on the line there, you know, like, you know, there was a lot riding on it, you know, and, But at that point, like I had so much confidence in
Mhm.
Always Be Mickey. I mean, like he was such an amazing horse, but I still didn't underestimate Wiggle It Jiggleit. I mean, like so, like in that race there, like Montreal got him out of there and got him to the front, and I actually got out of there and I got in the 2 hole, but we weren't going any at all. We went like 27 into 55 and something to the half, and I pulled him. I pulled the pocket and pulled and sit on the outside of Wiggle It Jiggleit. And you know what? You got to give credit to the horse. I mean, like down by the wire, he got by him, and I mean, like he was
He had
just,
no business getting by him. Like,
no.
let's be real.
I mean, like
He was beat, and you watch the wheels, and it's Mickey's
yeah,
beat.
he
And
got
then
it.
for some reason, he just
Yeah,
lunged forward and just got him at the wire, and it's just surprised the hell out of everybody.
yeah. He was an amazing horse. He was an amazing animal, and I mean, like I mean, I don't know. I mean, like I've seen a lot of great horses, and I've raced with a lot of great horses. But I mean, I think you got to consider him a great horse. I mean,
Did you that race in the Breeders' Crown? Was it kind of a like you said? You're pulling the 2 hole,
yeah,
right? Do you think that race at Pocono? Let's go all the way earlier. The Ben Franklin elim, not even the final. Okay,
Yeah.
what is the elim?
yeah,
And Corey Callahan has I forget the horse's name. Now that I watched the race earlier today, he parks you to the half,
yeah,
and you're just sitting like you. I mean, I know you're not sitting, but you guys are rolling,
yeah.
and Mickey just wears everybody out. Like he hits the top of the stretch and he just pulls away from everybody. Do you think like if that race didn't happen, maybe you wouldn't have had the confidence to pull, like you said, the 2 hole in the Breeders' Crown? Maybe it's subliminal, but you know Mickey can do that. He could sit outside and take air, and he's okay doing it.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, back it up even further. Like when I drove him at 3 for Joe, I mean, like the horse never. I always say it was his best race of his life ever was the Meadowlands Pace, and he had 9 hole, and I was 3 wide the whole mile. He was 3 wide the whole mile, and he still finished second, and they charged him 25 and 4 on the end of it. I mean, like that's stuff horses don't do. I mean, like you know what? I've yet to see a horse ever be 3 deep the whole mile and still come home in 25 seconds. I mean, like the
Some beach
horse.
somewhere didn't do it,
No,
right? Yeah.
he was a bit of a freak. I mean, so in a situation like that, like with Poconos, I mean, like the horse could take so much, so much abuse, really, and like he would turn for home, he'd just take off again. I mean, like he was just an amazing horse.
It almost like allows you to drive more freely.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
because like even if you make a
get caught on the
mistake,
outside, yeah,
right, you're just like okay,
he makes it up,
right.
know?
He makes you, so you have the confidence to put him in the right place, and you know
Yeah.
I'm still gonna win. I'm not gonna panic here, even though I'm in the 2 hole to Wiggle It Jiggleit.
Yeah.
I gotta wear him down, but I got the horse to do it.
Yeah, definitely.
3 to 5 on Always Be Mickey. They're on gate. Here they come. And they're off as expected. Montrell Teague and Wiggle It Jiggleit going to blast off, and Dave Miller urging on Always Be Mickey out quickly to track him in second. Up the rail, Split the House gets away in third. Shambhala got away well. He's in the 4th position. Mock It So 5th. As they round the first turn, Delta Winner is 6th as they march to the opening quarter. Then it's All Bets Off, followed by Luck Be With You and Mel Murby Beach and American Prime Time. So it's Wiggle It Jiggleit in front here, and Always Be Mickey revved up right on the Montrell Teague helmet, 27 and 1. Wiggle It Jiggleit and Always Be Mickey will stalk him as they go down the backstretch. The 2 champions. It's a gap of a length too. Is Split the House in the 3rd position. Shambhala is 4th across the backstretch towards the half. Mock It So is 5th on the cones. Then is Delta Winner, followed by All Bets Off. Another 2 lengths to Luck Be With You. Then Mel Murby Beach and American Prime Time, and they're seated single file. So Wiggle It Jiggleit dictates the terms here, and he paves the way past the half in a tepid 55 and 1. He stole a 28-second second quarter. Well rated is Wiggle It Jiggleit here. Always Be Mickey, and Dave Miller can't wait any longer now. And he lunches the fastest harness horse in history up and after Wiggle It Jiggleit. So the battle is on as they head to 3 quarters. Shambhala picks up the live cover. He's second over now in prime striking position. Split the House on the inside, 4th. Delta Winner is 5th on the outside. Mock It So needs racing room from 6th. To the outside, All Bets Off is 7th. 3/4 for Wiggle It Jiggleit, 1:22 and 1:27 flat, and it's a sprint to the wire in the Breeders' Crown open pace. Wiggle It Jiggleit squaring off with Always Be Miki on the outside. Shambhala needs to do more. Split the house on the inside. Wiggle It Jiggleit, Always Be Miki on the outside. One final surge at Wiggle It Jiggleit. Always Be Miki won't give up. Always Be Miki! He's a Breeders' Crown repeater, and he delivers the knockout blow on Wiggle It Jiggleit in 1:49. A classic Breeders' Crown matchup.